Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we're joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey goaltender Vinnie Purpura. Vinnie has played his junior hockey days, working his way up from the North American Hockey League with the Johnson Tomahawks into the USHL, the United States Hockey League with the Omaha Lancers, and then the Youngstown Phantoms as well. But even after his junior career came to a close, he worked his way into the Boston University for like a year and a half before really starting to build up the program at Long Island University for the last 3 years of NCAA Division I college hockey before turning pro with the Adirondack Thunder in the ECHL. And he played this past season with the Reading Royals in the ECHL. So, Vinny, I'm really excited to get you on. So, welcome to the show, Vinny Purpura.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. That was quite the introduction. It's perfect.
Yeah, of course. I always got to give the guys coming on that good introduction. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
appreciate
you
it.
enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
But to start things off, like you're from the Illinois area. You're from Lemont, Illinois to start off. So like what was it like growing up in Lemont and then just like your youth hockey days?
Yeah. So I played Chicago Mission and Chicago Fury for the most part for my youth days, and both were great. I just remember like how fun it was growing up playing hockey. I wasn't really growing up, wasn't really thinking like too much into the future. Like I was just having fun with it. Then once you kind of get like closer to high school and into high school, that's when you start thinking about future stuff. So yeah, I think Chicago Mission was when I was younger, and then my last 3 years of AAA were with the Chicago Fury, where I really felt like I kind of took that next step into becoming a juniors goalie. Yeah, it was a great experience all the way through.
Yeah, it's like what made you become or want to become a goalie and like when did you start playing hockey? Because like
Yeah,
you start out as player and then you switch to goalie or you're a goalie
yeah,
all along?
I feel like that's usually the path, right? Like, I definitely started out as player. Like my dad was a forward. My older brother, older sister, both were forwards as well. Um, yeah, and I think like when you're younger, like teams will like rotate who the goalie is, kind of thing. And I guess I just loved it. Like the first time I tried it, I just loved it. I don't think my parents were too thrilled about it because of how expensive it is, but yeah, I literally tried it one time, and I think I just stuck with it from there. I actually start my first couple of years. I played uh, lefty as a goalie, but then I realized that I'm actually a righty, so I switched over after that. But yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you have like a good story to like when your first game? Like I know the guys either get shelled for 10 rip or like you get a shutout your first game and
That's
that's
funny. I think my first game ever as a goalie is actually like on video, which is hilarious. Yeah, I got shelled. Like I was terrible, but for whatever reason, like I thought it was like the coolest thing ever just to get puck shot at you. So
yeah, we're crazy in that world. We love getting shots thrown at our face and making saves here and there.
definitely.
Yeah, but like you said, like you grew up through the Chicago Mission and then the Fury as well, and especially those last 3 years, you said that's when you really took that next step forward. So like, what did those last 3 years help you with to really like get into juniors and then move on from there?
Yeah, so I think so. I was actually like short before I got to the Fury, so I didn't really get my growth spurt until I got into high school. And once I got up to like 6'4", 6'5", like that's when like I was super awkward at the time, like because I grew so fast. So like I was super lanky, like just tall, skinny, as a lot of goalies kind of are.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just like just trying to just figure out my body, figure out like my movement and stuff like that, working on my strength training. Um, I was lucky enough with the Fury to be on a few like really good hockey teams. And I think it was just a culture. There was a lot of guys from that team that ended up playing juniors and ended up playing college hockey. Um, I think it was just like the culture there, the coaching staff, the training staff, all that kind of stuff really gave me the confidence and the ability to move on to the next level.
Yeah, that's huge, especially like when you have a good coach and like the camaraderie with the guys and everything within the room is good, like the chemistry
Mhm.
and like that's what really like builds the love for the game.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like what are some of like your favorite memories playing youth hockey, whether it be like winning championships, just like random games, being time spending time with the boys at the hotels, like whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, like spending time at the hotel with the boys was the best. Like, so when we'd go on road trips, it'd be my dad, me, and we'd always have like two other teammates with us. So like those were my best buddies on the team too. So like when we'd go to the hotel, we'd be doing dumb stuff, playing shinny in the hallways, just running around ding dong ditching, whatever it may be. Like stuff like that was super fun. Um, I'd say my best memory was probably winning the Bauer Invitational in Chicago. That was a really fun experience. I think my last year AAA was great too. We won state, won regionals, ended up going to nationals in San Jose, which was a great spot. Super fun time to go, spot to go to. Yeah, I think those were probably my two favorite, most memorable memories for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that just like helps you like be like, this is what I want to do for going forward and just win as many championships as you can, even though you know how it is. It's hard when you keep going up the ranks.
For sure.
Yeah, but then you took that next step into junior hockey where you were with the North American Hockey League. It's like,
Mhm.
what was the process like to get to the NAHL in Johnstown?
Yeah, so I think like at the time, like I was super nervous. Like I never lived away from home. I don't know if scared's the right word, but like definitely nervous, like of what was to come. Like leaving home I wasn't too thrilled about it. Like I loved my friends at home, like stuff like that. But what once you kind of get there, you kind of learn from like the older guys, like what it takes, like how long the season is. Just try not to overthink things. I think is was huge for me. Um, yeah, but I think it took a lot. I was lucky enough to where when I got there, I kind of built a good relationship with like the goalie coach right away. He really liked my game, and I really liked the way he coached. So there was a lot of like mutual respect and confidence between me and the coaching staff, which I think helped out a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome to at least have like that familiarity with like the goalie coach and like it obviously helps your build your confidence then and like you're not stressing that you're away from home. Like
hmm
obviously you still want to be home, but like you just take your mind off it a little bit more.
yeah. I was also like young and dumb, like
Yeah.
I like didn't understand like being away from home was that's what you want to do, right? Like it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do that. But like before I knew that, I was like, oh, this sucks. Like there was times where like I just want to go home, or like I don't want to go, like I just want to be at home type of thing. But looking back on it now, like obviously like that's the dream, that's the goal. So I look back on it with a little more grace than I did say I would did in the moment.
Yeah, so like what's some advice you'd give like kids going into that ring and like where they're gonna be building and stuff like that and like you just gotta find ways to not have yourself be like, oh, I wish I was home and like have that dream of
Yeah.
I get to
Yeah,
do
I mean, it's certainly like it's a brand new experience for all these kids, right? Like you're going into a stranger's house, you have no idea, how the food's gonna be, like what kind of family they are. Like you just have no idea, right?
yeah.
So, going into it, just I think just be open-minded, be, you know, um accepting of change because that's really what hockey is all about, right? Like there's so much, it's changing all the time. You never know. You could be traded, you could be cut, like you could be released. I think it like embracing those moments and embracing like the hard times or like the bad times. Like you're gonna go on 14-hour bus rides, right? Like you're gonna be on those bus rides. I think just embracing and like loving the sucky times is kind of imperative, and I think it's a huge thing to understand and accept because once you do that, like it becomes such a more enjoyable experience all around.
Yeah, that is true, and like it just becomes like second nature when you're just because you're just literally playing hockey and just hanging
Yeah.
with the guys, like some of the best times of your lives right there.
hmm for sure.
Yeah, but then you like finally get going with Johnstown with the Tomahawks, and you get 21 games your first year of junior hockey, which is huge, especially coming into the NAHL. So like, what was that transition going from AAA hockey to junior hockey and then all?
It was certainly different. I just remember like, you're playing against older guys, right? So I just remember like some of these guys were just like men. You know what I mean? Like they're just stronger on pucks, making smarter hockey plays just because they've been around the game longer. Um, I didn't really come into my own. I remember pretty clearly. I didn't come into my own that season until I'd probably say like the second half. I think I started the year there like kind of like the third goalie, like we'll see type of thing. But then like second half of the year, I really came into my own. Started playing more games. Playing good hockey. I was pretty blessed to be on a good hockey team there as well. Just a good mix of older guys, younger guys. Uh, yeah, I think it was a really good experience.
Yeah, so like what do you learn from going from third string to finally getting games? Because I know a lot of guys will be like, "Oh, I'm third string," and like they'll like complain about it, but like it's actually like a blessing.
Yeah, listen, I've been there several times, right? Like I think even in like 2 years ago in Adirondack, like that was kind of the coach called me. He's like, "Hey, you ready to be our," like trying to sign me, like, "Hey, you ready to be our third goalie for next year?" And like in my head, I'm obviously like, "No, like I'm not ready to be the third goalie," but yeah, I'm excited to come. And I ended up playing. I'm not sure exactly 25, 30 games in that season. So like, for me, the biggest thing is instead of because this is what I used to do. Instead of pouting about it or being, all pissy about it, like, oh, this sucks, like third goalie, like whatever it is. I think just kind of like accepting the fact, like, all right, like I don't even think about it that way. Like I don't think like, oh, I'm the third goalie. I just think, what can I do to impress? What can I do to be ready to go when my opportunity does come? Because I think that's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
As a third goalie, you're going to get at the start, at least you're going to get limited opportunities. But when the opportunities do arise, like, are you going to be ready? Because if you're ready for those opportunities, then more opportunities come. And if you're not ready for that opportunity, then, the coaches are like, oh, well, third goalie, didn't take advantage of the opportunity. What now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is just leaving no doubt in the coach's eyes of what you are and what you can be.
Yeah, and that's like I've had the same experience where I was fourth string before I was third string, and you just go to the rink with a good mindset every day, like with a smile on your face, like you know the situation you're in, you have everything in your power to control what you can, like your effort that you put in, like
Yeah,
how your what your mindset is on the ice, and just like that your ability to get that 1% better, how many or like get better at something throughout that day.
for sure. And I think you're definitely allowed, like it should piss you off a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Like it should make you a little bit like light a little fire under you because that's not why you're there, right? You're not there to be the third goal. You want to play hockey games. You want to you want to be involved. You want to feel like because like sometimes as a third goal you feel a little like alienated, right? You feel a little like, oh, like I'm not even like dressing for some games, like whatever it may be. Um, Sometimes it feels lonely at times, but I think it's good to get mad about it and then understand why you're mad about it, and then to you know come up with opportunities and taking advantage in practice, any extra shots you can do, any extra drills, whatever it may be, and then just be ready to go for your opportunity.
Yeah, you just gotta wait for that opportunity to come and just get the extra reps whenever like guys want to come up to you and be like, can you take reps? Like even if it's something dumb, like breakaways
Hmm.
for 20, 30 minutes, like anything you can do to get yourself noticed and get yourself like the coaches will end up noticing that you're staying out there
For
when
sure.
taking the reps.
For sure. They do for sure. And I think that's something I didn't really think or care about. Like I would say my first year or two of juniors, right? Like I didn't really, I was like, oh, like I don't care if I'm on longer. Like that, like
Yeah.
whatever. It is what it is. But like looking back on it now, like that stuff matters, right? That stuff like compounds, it builds up. Because like not only are you going to get better staying out taking extra drills, like like your teammates and your coaches, like they take notice of that. Like they see that and they see how committed you are to your craft, and I think that goes a long way.
Oh yeah, for sure. But then you get that first season out of the way, and you go into your second season where you play in the NAHL, and then you also get some time in the USHL with the Omaha Lancers. So, like, what was that whole season like for
Yeah,
you?
yeah, that was a great transition. Yeah, so I started the year back in Johnstown. Team wasn't having much success. I wasn't playing that well to be quite frank with you. I get lucky enough to get moved to Omaha Lancers, and another thing there, like I go in there. There's two other goalies, right? But I think once I got in there, I took advantage of my opportunity. I try to do whatever I can to be ready to go for games. Um, you know, Looking back on it, like I was very lucky in Omaha as well. Very good team we had. Um, Great group of guys, great coaching staff. Treated super well. Like the rink there is unbelievable. Like super nice facilities. Yeah, I know it was a really fun year. It was a very eye-opening year for me personally. Like, that's the year I committed to college. That's the year I kind of, feel like I stepped into my own a little bit. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and like you learn so much from going from like experience and everything like that, and just like it's whole different life experience as well that you could put into your life, as well as like you're getting a call up to the USHL. Like, was obviously like guys are stronger and faster at the USHL level by a little bit, but like what else have you noticed from that really helped your game from going from the NAHL to the USHL?
Yeah, so this was a bigger like a big jump for sure. Like I would say the forward groups in the USHL are far more skilled than the null groups. I don't think that obviously there's those top end defense in the USHL that are like elite, offensive,
Yeah.
but like obviously the null's more, a defensive like grittier. You're getting a lot of shots, but like um, the like I would say the NAHL has like the top two lines are comp like they could play in the USHL, but the bottom two lines, they probably couldn't. So it's just a deeper experience all around. A little bit more, you get more fans at rinks, stuff like that. I think the speed was what you noticed the most, and like the hockey IQ, biggest differences I would say.
Yeah, so like as your game like in the net, like you have to obviously work on like your depth, your angles, and just like
Yeah.
reading the plays quicker. Like what did you have to do to get yourself up to that USHL game?
Yeah, so I think reading the game is it kind of just comes with playing, right? Like you can't without playing games you can't like get better at reading the game. You can't get like faster at reading the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just because I think those first couple of games in USHL was like, whoa, it's faster, you know what I mean? Like I gotta process it a little bit faster. I just have to be faster to my positions. And once that kind of like registers in your head, you kind of like you just start kind of like naturally doing it more and more. But I was lucky again in Omaha, like good coaching staff, good goalie coach. We worked on those things, every day. I think literally after my first game, I told the goalie coach like it was faster. It was faster. Like I just need to work on faster drill, like just me getting from point A to point B faster, getting to different positions faster. Yeah, and I think that went a long way. And I think after a couple games, you like I said, you just kind of start feeling it a little bit more, start feeling out the speed, what players are thinking, type of thing. So
Yeah, exactly. It's all just reps and game reps and just getting everything you can to like to dial in the that speed, because that speed does make a difference when you go up a level, and like if you're behind a play, you're gonna get scored on. If you're on top of the play, you're gonna make that save.
for sure.
Yeah, but then you go, you like you said, you committed to college, which was Boston University, and but that year you played with the Lancers, you played in with the Phantoms in the USHL, but you also played at Boston University. So
Yeah.
what was that whole year like for you? And just
Yeah, that was
tell
a
us,
crazy
yeah,
year. So again, like I started the year like not great with Omaha. Um, I go to so they Boston University like calls me pretty early on in the year, like, hey, we're looking to bring you in like half through the year. I was like, all right, like I don't know, like maybe. And then eventually I decided, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it. Went to Youngstown. I think I was only in Youngstown for like a couple weeks, like not long at all. So I don't have not too many memories from there. But yeah, I mean, going from there to like Boston University is like, whoa, like such a different, like such a culture shock type of thing. Like
Yeah.
now you're in college, now like you're a student again, walking around campus. Um, that like you're playing hockey with, like Joel Farabee, you're playing hockey with like Dante Fabro, Jake Ottinger is my goalie partner. Like it's, it was pretty eye opening, pretty crazy. Um, but yeah, that first year in BU was awesome. It was very fun. I feel like I learned a lot. Yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah, like what was the transition like going back to being a student while also having to balance hockey practice, games, road trips, and your social life as well?
Yeah, going to like go, being a student again. Like I was always pretty decent in school, so like that one didn't really affect me too much. I don't mind doing my studies and stuff like that. Um, obviously like going from as you go up every level, like the players just get better, right?
Yeah.
So like the players at BU are better than the players in the USHL, older, smarter, like legit, like first round hockey players. Um, yeah, like I would say my first year in BU, like social life, like was I kind of try to put that like on the back burner. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
kind of just try to focus on because I came in halfway through the year, which is like kind of a weird thing, right? So like you're coming in, the team's already set, like the team's been there for half a year already, and then you're just kind of coming in halfway through. Um, so it was kind of weird and hard to navigate that. So I try to put myself in the best position to like where it wasn't nothing was affecting my on ice type of thing. Um, yeah, but it was a great experience all around for sure.
Yeah, and then like you said, you had n numerous guys that are playing the NHL right now, like Jake Ottinger as well as your partner. Like, what do you learn from a guy like that, and like how like I'm sure technical and good he was at Boston University.
Yeah, I mean you knew like because like obviously he was drafted at that point, like NTDP, all that. Like he was an NHL goalie. Like he was pro ready. I think like by the time I got there, like he's just so elite, like just so elite at doing the little things right and working on the little things. Off the ice was always doing like some band work or whatever it may be, just getting always finding ways to get better. And honestly, like couldn't be a nicer guy like off the ice. Like such a nice guy. Like was a great goalie partner. I wasn't like with him that long. Half a semester or one semester in college. So just his ability, like with his size to his movement. He could really take over games, and it was really something special to watch.
Yeah, and like you said, he was a good goalie partner, and like I think that's extremely important as you go up the levels to have like a good relationship with your goalie partner because even though like you're both fighting for that ice time and you want obviously everyone wants the net, but like just to have that good like friendly competition with your goalie partner and just like help you guys build each other like every single day, like how important was that for you and just have in your toolbox?
Oh, huge. I mean, there's nothing better than a goalie partner, like as I'm sure you know, like that's supportive and like genuinely wants you to like perform well. Um, that's a big thing for me. I try my best to be as supportive as I possibly can because I'm a big believer in karma as well. So like that I think that stuff goes a long way. Um, but yeah, he was super supportive when I think I played 3 or 4 games that first stint, first year at BU. But I think I learned a lot from those 4 games, and he was always super supportive. And it was a great group of guys. They were all super supportive as well, even with me coming in halfway through the year. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's awesome to have. And then you go on to your second year at BU where you play in two games, and then
Mhm.
like you make that step to transfer to LIU to Long Island University where you really start to like build that program up because it was a newer program at the time. It's like what was the decision to go into transferring and then that transition into LIU?
Yeah, so I mean that was probably the toughest year of my hockey career. That second year at BU, kind of, you know, I think I was again like I still think I was young and dumb, like just doing dumb stuff. Like just like maybe my focus wasn't 100% where it needed to be. I was focused on social life stuff, like, where are we going after this game, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think that kind of got in the way. Um, yeah, and I think, I played two games early in the season. I did not play well. Um, I wasn't hyper focused on the task at hand. And I was kind of, halfway through the year, I was kind of told, like, hey, we're not going to bring you back next year. Like, if you want to enter the transfer portal, and I was obviously like, yeah, I'm going to enter the transfer portal. So that was a tough time in my life. But I look back on it now with a lot of appreciation and like gratitude because I think it kind of molded me into the person I am today. Because I took it really hard at the time,
Yeah.
but now I look back on it and it was a very, very valuable learning lesson for me that, you know, not it's not going to be easy. I think I at the time thought, I could, like I thought like, oh, I was the man. Like I'm such a good goalie. Like this is nothing. Like this is going to be nothing for me. And that backfired. So I think that was a huge learning lesson for me uh, in becoming the person I am today and the goalie that I am today. Because I certainly look at it from a different perspective. But yeah, obviously that was COVID year afterwards. So transferring the portal was an absolute mess. Um, but ended up going to LIU. And yeah, I loved my time at LIU. Learned a lot of valuable things there as well. Um, you know, I think biggest thing I learned there was patience. First year COVID, I think we only ended up playing like 13, 14 games or whatever as a team. I think I only played 4 or 5, so it was just kind of like another year of not playing much hockey.
Yeah.
It's like, oh boy, here we go again. Like, you know, because I think confidence comes from playing games. So I think at this time, like my confidence was not very high at all. Like just kind of like, oh boy, like this is not it's not what I dreamt of. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not like I wasn't dreaming of this growing up. I didn't expect this. Um, but you know, yeah, I think I learned a lot from LIU. Good coaching staff, really good group of guys. Starting a new program obviously is a tall task. It's not an easy thing to do. Um, you know, Bringing in a whole new group of guys, recruiting a whole new team during COVID was definitely not easy.
Yeah.
Um, but I give the coaching staff credit for getting a team in there, and yeah, like obviously, we weren't the greatest team in the world, which I think again in the long run helped me out, kind of experiencing that for a couple of years, and then yeah, I think it was a great experience as well.
Yeah, so like what do you learn from like all these setbacks, like your second year at BU and then just like when you're going to a new team and stuff like that, like obviously like you have to get comfortable and find that confidence again. So like what do you learn from like those setbacks?
I would say the biggest thing that I learned from those setbacks is that nothing's going to be handed to you, and nobody cares either, right? Nobody cares that like if you don't show up and you don't work and you're not doing your job to the best of your ability. Like at the end of the day, it really is a business. So if you're not doing your job, somebody else is going to do it for you. So I think the biggest thing I learned was, you know, instead of being this cocky kid that thinks he's too good to do the extra stuff, too good to do more than the next guy. It taught me a lot of humility, a lot of you know, perseverance and just continuing to stick with the process and just trying to show up every day and do the work and see what comes from that, right? So, yeah, I'd say those were the biggest things I learned. During those moments, they were miserable, like just just not where you want to be as a goalie, right?
Yeah.
But looking back on it, you learn a lot and you gain a lot of, like I said, humility and ways to improve on those things.
Yeah, that's true. And like I like how you said like the process too, because like everyone wants to get to the finish line and just to where what they've ever dreamed of to they want it to be right there. But like you have to really embrace that grind and that process to get to where you want to be. It's like what has that like throughout college and then going into your pro career, like what has been like that process like? Because it's important when you just focus on the process instead of like what the outcome of what's going to happen.
Definitely. So I think, after my college year going into pro hockey, I really kind of dove into like the mental side of the game. I dove into like because like mentally I was not where I used to be as a goalie, right? I used to think like, oh, I'm making every save. Then I think I went on like a couple year stretch where I was like, like super stressed out for games, like so much anxiety, just way overthinking everything. What am I like? What are they going to think of me if I play bad tonight? What's going to happen if I let in five tonight? Like stuff like that. So yeah, the biggest thing for me was process over results. Understanding the results will take care of themselves, and the process. If you do the process right and you embrace the process, you enjoy the process. Once you get to the game, I almost feel like it's out of your hands, right? Like it's
Yeah.
you've done the work, whatever work you've put in, that's the product you're going to get on the ice. And it took me a long time to fully understand that idea, right? Like I would think, well, the results really all that matters, right? It's all it is. But I think these past couple years in pro, I've really understood that aspect of the game more. Became a lot more relaxed, not stressing at all for games, really. Like just kind of enjoying the ride, enjoying the opportunities that are presented, and just being ready for those opportunities.
Yeah, and like that's super good to learn from, especially like for me, like it was like what you put in over the summer and like the little things you do, like that compounds into how your season's gonna be like if throughout the season. Like if you just focus on the process throughout the summer, like obviously the summer months are long, especially when you don't make the playoffs and stuff like that. But like if you just focus on the work that you're putting in every day and just that willing to get better every day, like it's going to go a long way and you just got to really focus on that every day and just getting that 1% better throughout the summer every day.
Definitely. Like summer's so big too. Like when I was younger, I didn't think much of summer. Like it was more like a break, right? Like, oh, I get so much time off now. Like I don't have to skate or do whatever. But like now I look at it like I think my summers these past years have almost been harder than my like during the season. Like I used to enjoy the summers a lot more. Now I can't wait for the season to start because the summers are hard now. I try to work out 5 days a week. Right now I'm taking some time off from skating because the pro season's so long and kind of grueling. All the bus rides and whatever it may be. But yeah, I think like summers now, especially like they're so big, just fine tuning your game and just, really coming into your own.
Yeah, and just the little things, just focusing on like what your weaknesses are and just making those strengths and just really like analyzing like how you did over the season and what you could do better for
Yeah.
the next season.
Yeah. And I think that's a great point too, like finding what you think you can work on and working on those things, right? Instead of just showing up to the rink and just stopping pucks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's obviously your job and that's what you want to do. But I think the summer is the time to I think summer is the time to overthink, right? That's when you can overthink your game. You can think, what if I RVH'd, you know, when you, what if I didn't RVH until he got closer to the net? What if I RVH'd when he's further away from the net? What if I put my skate at a 45-degree angle when it's an RVH? Like little things like that. Um, I think summer's the time for that. And then once you get into the season, that's when you just kind of, game time, you shut your brain off, then you just play because you have to trust that you've already put in the work from the summer and training camp and all that stuff to be ready to go for the game. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great point.
That I like the word trust there because like once you like trust and believe that you did everything you can, like that's when you're gonna build that confidence as well. Like not even like before you play a game, like you had that confidence throughout the summer that once it's game time, like you already know you already put that work in.
For sure. And yeah, and that's a great point too. Like leaving no doubt that you did everything you can to be ready for the game, I think is so big. Like that's been big for me. Like when I'm like sitting there, in my stall getting ready for the game, whatever it may be, and I know that I've done everything like that week or whatever it may be to be ready to go for the game, then I relax so much. I'm like, oh, this, whatever happens, happens then. Like there's nothing more I could do. So yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, exactly. I love that idea and like I want to go back to like your last year of college here before like going fully in depth with your pro career. Like you played 26 games your last year at Long Island University. So like what was it like getting that big step and that big year for you to really like dig into your pro career after that?
Yeah, I think it was very good for me going into my pro career. It was a long season for me personally. Just it was just very like very grueling. I think I was still mentally not where I wanted to be. Just stressing because playing that many games in a college season and like being so stressed out about every single one of them,
Yeah.
it takes a toll on you, right? But I got a lot of shots that year, which is amazing. And then I think that got me ready for pro because LIU, like we weren't like the best team, right? We'd be playing. We're an independent team, so we'd be playing a lot of really good teams. We'd be playing Ohio State, Wisconsin, like stuff like that. So I think getting those shots was so big for me going into pro year, and it really did feel like it made my pro career easier
Yeah.
that way because the teams are a little more even. Um, not facing as many shots, and you just have to make the saves that you have to make, and then you have to steal a couple saves, right? Like that's basically what it is. Um, yeah, and my pro career, I feel like has gone well so far for me personally. Um, you know, mentally, I'm much stronger. I feel a lot more confidence in my game. So yeah, it was good for me my last year at LIU.
Yeah, just getting all the reps that you possibly can and just getting the shots like that helps you develop more and more. And then you go into the end of the year with the Adirondack Thunder and the ECHL and you play 4 games. Like, what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was really good. So my at the end of LIU, like I wasn't even sure, if I wanted to continue playing, get into the real world, whatever it may be. Um, but luckily, like 2 weeks before the season ended, I was lucky enough to be able to go up to Adirondack to finish out the year, and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved, everything about playing pro hockey. The guys are great. The travel, it's fun. Sometimes it can be long, but it's fun. Um, yeah, and I think I was lucky enough to be able to play 4 games there. Played really well in those 4 games. Kind of got the coach's confidence in me a bit, uh, leading to me being able to come back for the following season, which was really great. Unfortunately, I got a concussion like 10 games before the season was over, so couldn't really play out the rest of the year. But I think it was a great experience for me, just kind of getting a taste for it and it really motivated me to come back the following year like ready to go like now it's like kind of like a now it's serious type of thing. Now it's now I gotta go, um and just kind of seeing where it took me. Yeah, and then my first full year there was just an absolute blast. We had a really good group there, ended up making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. uh you know great group of guys. Good coaching staff again. Uh, just kind of, I was lucky enough. My goalie partner was Jeremy Brodeur and Tyler Brennan, who's an NHL draft pick, and I was able to learn so much from those guys. Jeremy was a 7-year veteran at the time. He's been around pro hockey for so long. Obviously, his dad is his
Yeah.
dad. So just kind of like watching him and how he operated helped me out so much. Like he was so relaxed. Like I never seen him stress for a game ever. But when he got in the net, he was so good, and I kind of wanted to replicate that or emulate that, and kind of build that into my game. Uh, like the way he was able to be calm and like make big saves when big saves needed to be made. So yeah, I think I learned a lot from both of them, and they were both unbelievable goalie partners. Two of my best friends on the team. Still stay in touch. Um, but yeah, it was super fun. Experiencing the full pro season for the first time was certainly like exhausting. I would say like you kind of start feeling it in the dog days of like
Yeah.
February, March. Um, but it was super fun. Yeah, and then the following year end up in Reading, and then this is my past year, and I think this has been that was my best year of hockey that I've had in my career. I'd say going back to juniors, it was a super fun year, great group of guys. Uh, like halfway through the year, like at like Christmas, I would say we were like one of the statistically like our record was one of the worst in the league. But second half of the year, like, well, we really turned it on. Really came together as a group, and just kind of like everybody just kind of bought in. It felt like we flipped a switch really, like after Christmas. Like it was like night and day. Our team, um, you know, really good players on our team, and made my life a lot easier. Really good goalie partner in Keith Petrozelli, another NHL draft pick, Quinnipiac, like just guy's a stud.
Yeah.
So like it's funny, like me and him, I feel like are like pretty opposite. Like he is super calm, like super like chill, like relaxed, like in net super calm, and I'm like when I'm playing, like I'm super like fiery. I'm like let's go, like let's get after it. Um, so I think that's a funny contrast, but again, like I could learn a lot from him too. Like his ability to be calm in big moments is certainly an attribute that's you know that you want to have as a goalie, right? So yeah, I think so far it's been a great journey, and I'm super excited to see where it takes me.
Yeah.
Sorry if I went ranted there for a little bit. I was
No,
just keep going.
that's awesome. But like, so you're 2 years into your pro career now, entering year three. So like, what have you learned the most, especially like when you do hit those dog days in January, February, March, when it gets tough to go to the rink, but you just got to push through and like it makes it worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you just like we were talking about earlier, like you just got to embrace it. Like
Yeah.
you gotta understand it. Like it is what it is, right? Like I think showing up and like being like, oh, like I'm so tired, like I don't
Yeah.
feel like doing this today. Like, I don't think it takes you very far. But I think even on those days where you don't feel great, like I think even just showing up and just being like, what's up, boys? Like, let's have a practice today. Like let's do it. Like
Just fire them up.
yeah, exactly. So I think even when you're not feeling it, like even just faking it, just trying to get other guys going, trying to, just having fun in the room, like whatever it may be, just enjoying all the moments that, that eventually lead to the games, and, makes playing those games even more fun instead of
Yeah.
because like if you spend the whole week of practice like, oh man, I'm so tired, like I'm so like exhausted, I'm out of it, like whatever it is, then the games come and then it's the same thing, right? So just kind of trying to put it into your mind like, you're good to go, like you're fresh, like whatever it is. So
Yeah, you just gotta embrace the grind, embrace the sucky times. You just gotta embrace everything, and it makes everything
yeah,
a heck of a lot easier when you're grinding through it and embracing everything.
for sure.
Yeah, but like You've been playing for 2 years now. Like what, and you have many wins under your belt. Like what was that getting that first pro win and that first pro shutout under your belt as well?
Oh, it was awesome. It was my first game, so we actually my first pro experience is I got up to Adirondack, and that morning we flew to Newfoundland, which is like way out east
Yeah.
in Canada. Um, so that was a pretty cool experience. Like such a cool little city there in Newfoundland. Like that was such a fun time going up there. Um, but playing the game, it was weird. Like my first game, like I wasn't really nervous. It was just which was something I hadn't felt like in a long time. It was like it was excitement. It was, I'm super like grateful for the opportunity. I'm super excited for the opportunity, and it was like a whatever happens happens type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if like that was going to be my only game there, right? I had no idea. So I was just very grateful for the opportunity, and then I thought I played a really good game. Guys in front of me played great. I think you kind of see, especially in pro hockey, when a goalie's making his first start, like the guys are playing good hockey in front of you.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's rare to see, from what I've seen, like a goalie making his first start and like the team just completely laying an egg. Like you usually get a really good effort from the team, and I definitely got that. So, it was an awesome experience. Playing in my first pro game up in Newfoundland was great. You know, it got me super excited for what the future held for sure. And then my first shutout, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, it was just it was such a weird. I think it was like a random like Sunday game. Like it wasn't even you know anything crazy. It wasn't like a big game. It was just kind of a random like middle of the season Sunday game. And I think I only faced like 17, 18 shots or something. So the guys in front of me were, made my life super easy for that game. But, it felt good to get it out of the way, especially, that year it was, like I said, me, Brodeur, and Brennan. And uh, Brodeur got one, and then Brennan got one like right after. And I was like, oh, I have to get one. So I think we all got our first shutout that year, like within like a 3 week stretch. So that was pretty fun. It was a little friendly competition between us two, which made it a lot more fun. So
Yeah, and it's just good to get those out of the way because like that's what you look forward to is like your first pro win, and then your whenever you get the first pro shutout. So like once you get
yeah,
out of the way, like you be stress free and just like go and
exactly,
game.
exactly.
Yeah, but like what was like when you first got into your pro career? Like what was your first like welcome to the pro moment?
Oh, this is perfect. So my very first game, it was my first game in Newfoundland. Like 11 minutes left in the game. Uh, you were up 4-2, I believe. And college doesn't have the trapezoid. So I played in the trapezoid or outside of the trapezoid in pro my first game, and the whistle blows like I see we're getting a penalty. I'm like, I was like, I went to the ref. I was like, do we have too many men? Like, what happened there? He's like, oh no, you played it outside the trapezoid. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So that was my welcome to the pro moment for sure, and certainly something that I don't think I'll ever do again because like I'm super conscious about it now. But it
Yeah.
was funny, like it was just funny, like I knew before the game because I asked somebody like, oh, there's a trapezoid, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, good to know. And like middle of the game, I just completely forget about it. But it was funny. It's funny like. You see like rookie players a lot, like their first games, like they'll get a delay of game penalty, like throwing it over the glass. Because in college you don't get a delay of game for that.
Yeah.
So guys will do that and they're like, oh, like just like head up to the sky type of thing. But yeah, that was certainly my welcome to the pro moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I forgot
Yeah,
that that's a rule here.
I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's definitely a penalty.
Yeah, but like that, it makes for some good stories after the game, and like I'm sure everyone just laughing at because you're like,
Yeah,
I forgot.
especially when you win the game,
Yeah,
you can laugh about it. Like if that happened to cost us the game, I'd be a little
different
bit more
story. Yeah,
upset about it. But yeah,
yeah, exactly. But like you said, like you're a fiery guy. So like, have you ever gotten like in a scrum or like anything like that because of it?
Yeah, like I've gotten into like scrums. I haven't gotten into a fight, but you know, I would love to get into a fight eventually. But like the opportunity hasn't like come up, I guess. Yeah, I've gotten like little scrums in front of the net, just like grabbing guys, like whatever it may be. Like if they get in my face, like I'll get in their face. I think it's just more like funny than anything. Like I just love like doing that. Like seeing guys get mad is so funny to me. Um, yeah, but nothing too crazy. Just little things here or there, but nothing of note.
Yeah, but it's always fun when goalies get involved and you're not afraid to stand up for yourself or your team.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but like what's some of like advice that you'd give like younger players looking to get to that next level, whether it be like youth to college or youth to juniors, juniors to college, college to pro, and just anyone making that next step in their career?
Yeah, I think this works for, any of the steps. I think it's just doing the things that like other goalies are not like other goalies that you are around, like doing extra things that they're not willing to do, right? Doing the things that, you know, other goalies like, oh, I'm taking the day off. Maybe you're like, no, I'm not going to take the day off. I'm going to do some hand-eye drills for 30 minutes. Like even if it's just a little thing like that, those things compound, and I think those things will lead you to be a better goalie and separate you from the pack.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice. Like you just want to do anything to come to make to compact yourself and like to help you get better and get that 1% better every single day.
For sure.
Yeah, but like I want to talk about like your goalie coaching a little bit here. So like you started stalwart hockey. So like what made you decide to go the coaching route, especially in the off season and
Yeah. So
create seasons?
I've been coaching goalies for like I'd say like past 4 or 5 summers. Just I don't know if you know Ryan Honick works with GDI. I'm sure you've seen him around.
I've seen GDI.
Yeah. Okay. GDI. So I've coached with them a lot in the summer. And then like during the season, I've been thinking about it for a while, but like during the season, I was just like sitting around and I was like, I think I want to do this. So I kind of like went all in on it, and you know, I'm super excited about it. Coaching kids in the Chicagoland area is going to be super fun. I'm also doing like I've set up like a mentorship program type of thing. I think I've become like super passionate about it this past year or so, just like helping goalies become better not only on the ice but off the ice,
Yeah.
helping their mental game, helping you know physically what they can do on the ice. I got super passionate about it because I was once a goalie that that needed help with those things, right? And I still think I need help with those things. I think I could work on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I think I just got super passionate about it, and I really want to coach the next generation, and I think I could really help the next generation with getting better and getting to the next level. So I think that's just something. Yeah, like I said, I have a passion for now, and it's something I want to take advantage of.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like it also gives you like a different perspective of just being like obviously you're in the moment when you're in season, and then like you get to analyze like yourself and like as well as other youth goalies like looking to get
Yeah,
better, and like it makes it
exactly.
so much different too.
Exactly. And I think I learn a lot. Like when I'm coaching, I feel like I'm learning the whole time too.
Yeah.
I'll see something, I'm like, oh, like yeah, that's interesting, or like that was an interesting movement, like stuff like that. So I think it helps me, and I get super excited like when I do when I do go to coach, like I get super excited, like I love seeing the kids excited. Like when the kids are fired up to be
Yeah.
there, like that gets me fired up. So yeah, I'm super excited for what the future holds with that. I'm always looking for new clients and stuff. So I'm really excited for what that holds here
Yeah,
coming up.
that's awesome. I'll definitely tag all your stuff on this episode and get it on
Appreciate it.
there too. But like what do you what like when you do coach like the kids like what are you focusing on?
So yeah, obviously all the kids kind of differ. I think it depends. Like the way I coach kind of depends on how the kids are, right? So like
Yeah.
if I know the kid can like take like criticism, like I can like give it to him like a little bit more, then I'll do that. But if a kid I know like doesn't take criticism as well, like I'll kind of like slowly like like I'll do like positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Then I'll tell them what they need to work on. Then I'll after that say something positive again, right? Just kind of keeping their confidence up, whatever it may be. Um, yeah, I think like I just blanked. What was the question again?
Like what are you focusing on when you're coaching?
Yeah, I'm focusing on them improving. Fundamentals is a big thing. Skating is a big thing. Um, I try to start my sessions with like 10 to 15 minutes of edge work, just to kind of warm up. And I think that stuff is so huge, especially as you go up to the bigger levels. And a big component for me is also having fun, right? Like if I don't think like if you're not having fun out there, then nobody's having fun. Like you're not getting better, like stuff like that. So I think having fun leads into improving as a goalie. Those the edge work, the fundamentals, and then usually the second half of the goalie skate. That's when you kind of get into the meat of it, right? You get
Yeah.
into you could really hone in on something that you want to work on. You could hone in on something that the goalie wants to work on, like whatever it may be. Then the last 5-10 minutes kind of depends. That's when you do something really fun, like you play rebound or whatever it may be, breakaways. Because I think even with those drills, like you're still improving on something, right? Like
Yeah.
there's got to be a little compete in your game, especially in the summer. It's so easy to do a lot of drills where you're not really competing as much. So I think it's important to those last 5 to 10 minutes do something where you're really battling.
Yeah, and it just makes everything a lot more fun and like you said, like most important thing is just having fun because if you're
Yeah,
not having fun, like you're not gonna improve at all. You're not gonna get anything out of it. But if you're having fun, you're gonna get a lot of it, a lot out of it, and your development's gonna skyrocket as well.
for sure.
Yeah, and then like edge work too. Like I love like as much as like you like when you're younger, you're like, oh, I hate skating and everything, but like it's a necessity and like you learn to like love it. Like I like going from like my first year playing semi-pro to like year two in my pro career now, like you notice a huge difference and like it's all like it's all second nature now and like you just do it every time you get on the ice.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, it definitely sucks, but you got to do it.
Yeah, it's a necessity. That's for sure.
Yep.
But I have a few more questions before we wrap things up here and like you're talking about like the last 5-10 minutes you're doing either rebound, like what's your favorite post practice game, like rebound, three puck, breakaways, like what's your go-to?
Yeah, I do love rebound. I think rebound is super fun. It's like everybody's having fun playing it, even the players. Um,
Chirp fest too, and
oh,
whenever you
100%.
score,
Yeah,
like whenever you make a save.
it gets pretty contentious, I would say for sure. But that's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You don't really see the players win a lot, so like for us goalies, like it's a blast.
yeah,
Like I love playing it. But I think classic shoot like breakaways is my favorite. I love taking breakaways, especially when it's like the elimination breakaways where if they don't make it, like they're out type of deal. So I enjoy doing that the most, I'd say.
yeah. Those are definitely fun. But my last question is like, what are you listening to like before like you get on the ice for pregame warm-ups or like what type of music are you listening to?
Yeah, I have a rock playlist that I listen to the same playlist before every single game. It's a lot of Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, uh, you know, Fleetwood Mac, Tom Petty, like stuff like that, like older rock stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's the music I love, and it just kind of relaxes me, kind of puts me in a good mood. Um, I don't listen to much rap before the game. Yeah, it's mostly rock
Yeah, that's a good start to go with. Whatever gets the juices flowing, you just got to
for
go with.
sure.
Yeah, but Vinny, thank you again for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time, and I want to wish you the best of luck going forward with next season and the rest of your career.
Jack, I really appreciate you having me on, and good luck to you as well.